Hey folks, Matt Easton here, Scholar Gladiatoria. So just a quick off-topic video, as my stupid ass computer just crashed when I was reading your comments, and I was reading your comments about objectives in martial arts and objectives in gaming, and I just thought, you know, it's just something that came into my head. Thought I'd quickly film a video about that as my computer's crashed and I can't do anything else. And actually it's one of the biggest things as well, objectives in life, that annoys me specifically in movies as well, and that's that very often we have a bad guy, and very often in movies I'm thinking, okay, this bad guy's really good, he's got a good plan, he's got a good outfit, got some good henchmen, but what does he actually want? And you know, James Bond films are massively guilty of this. Very often the bad guy wants power. But power to do what? I understand some people just want power, they just want maybe more money, or they just want to control more underlings, or they want more land, but I always find myself questioning, like, what do you actually want? What drives you? And you know, I suppose at the end of the day some people can't put a pin in exactly the thing that they want. You know, why do I collect swords? Why do I have so many swords? I really like swords. That's about as complex as it gets. Why do I really like swords? I don't know. Sit on my couch, Matt, and tell me, why do you like swords so much? Well, because they're long and shiny and pointy, and I can wave them at people. Oh, so no. So then we get all Freudian. No, that's not it. It's not a sexual thing. It's not. I don't like swords because they remind me of sex. I like sex, but I like swords, but they're completely unrelated for me. Why do I like swords? I don't know. Some people just want things because they want things, and I suppose very often movies fall back on this. Well, he's just power hungry. That's why he wants to kill James Bond and blow up an island and threaten London with destruction, so that NATO will pay him $50 billion, and because then he'll have money and power, and that's really just what he wants. But nevertheless, I think usually people do have an objective that isn't as simplistic as just wanting power. Evidently most people aren't that bothered about having power. Actually, with great power comes great responsibility, and quite frankly most people are quite lazy and they don't want more power, they don't want more responsibility, they want just enough of something without it becoming too much. So everybody wants a bit more money, don't you? You want to be able to, not everybody, but most people want a bit more money. They want a slightly bigger house, they want a slightly nicer car, but they wouldn't want, you know, like could say, I want an Aston Martin Vantage, but I don't want to work really hard to earn lots and lots of money so that I can buy the Aston Martin Vantage. No, that's not worth it. I would far rather kind of like have the kind of life I've got at the moment, where I do some work and I do some of the things I like, and I have a balance, and I don't have an Aston Martin, but actually on balance I'm okay with that. If someone gave me an Aston Martin, that's fine, but I don't really want to go and get a job. I don't want to get a job as a banker or a lawyer or something else where I could increase my earnings to the point where I could buy an Aston Martin Vantage without feeling guilty about it, and also maintain it and run it and all of that as well, and insure it. So what am I trying to say? I don't know. But there's a level of objectives, and I do like to see, whether it's a computer game or a movie, or indeed, you know, a role-playing game or tabletop wargaming or anything, I like to see a complexity of objectives. And this does come full circle back to martial arts again, and it comes back to my original video on this topic, where I just think that a lot of people, particularly in HEMA, and I agree, some of you have commented that other, you know, boxing and more traditional martial arts, even traditionally taught fencing to an extent, sometimes train people to fence or fight or spar to certain objectives, to force them to fight in different ways and expand their repertoire. And this is fantastic. In HEMA, in my experience, there are not that many groups, not that many people doing that method of training. So I think it's really important, because in all types of combat there is a context. It's the magic Matt Easton context word, and yeah, everything has to have a context to it. And you know, if we go to the battlefield, if we're doing tabletop wargaming, for example, if you've got two forces, we wouldn't normally play a game where the objective is to kill all of the enemy, because that's almost never the objective of a real battle. And if it were, you would fight in a different way, wouldn't you? You would do things in a different way, probably even with different weapons as well. The objective usually is to capture an area, or to control trade routes, or you know, control coastal points for trade and the economy, or to capture resources, or to capture slaves or women, or you know, to take things from a rival economy. That's usually the reason for war. Yes, there have been wars that have been done for religious reasons, or blood feud reasons, or even ideology reasons, you know, communism versus democracy and all this kind of stuff. But there is nevertheless in a battle or a conflict usually an underlying context that gives very specific objectives. So for example, if we're having a battle, the objective might be to capture a bridge and to hold the bridge until you can reinforce the bridge, so you can hold the bridge for many years to come and control the trade routes along the river. Those are a set of objectives. One of the problems, whether it's martial arts sparring or computer gaming, or even movies, is very often we're not given this information about why am I killing all these people? Oh, because I'm a soldier and that's what soldiers do. Well no, soldiers are given objectives. Most soldiers spend most of their time marching, sleeping, eating, digging holes, filling them back in again, this kind of stuff. They don't spend most of their time killing. It's not Warhammer 40k, we don't ride around on tanks with chainswords. Cheers folks. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and feel free to follow us on Facebook.